Welcome to Retouch Nexus Narratives, a captivating podcast series of the Horizon Retouch Nexus Project that delves into the interconnected world of the water energy food ecosystem's nexus. In short, WEFENexus. As water scarcity continues to pose significant challenges globally, the purpose of this podcast is to offer a dynamic platform for dialogue, knowledge exchange, and innovative solutions, and to bring together diverse stakeholder voices and perspectives from the 6 European Retouch Nexus case studies. Join us as we explore regional and sectoral insights, engage with current events, and uncover emerging trends in the WEFENexus landscape. Tune in and be part of the conversation that shapes the future of water security and climate action.
Hi, my name is Gabriella, and I'm a professional officer at the Energy and Water Agency. With us today, we have Ms. Mary Gaerty, Vice President of National Council of Women and co-founder and chairperson of Greenskip Services Limited. This is the first part of our podcast series for the Retouch Nexus Project, where we will be discussing the topic of WEFENexus. Basically, it's an approach that highlights the interdependence of water, energy, and food security and ecosystem. This includes water, soil, and land that underpin that security. If you're comfortable, you can start with the questions.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
So the first question I would like to ask is, what is your experience with the WEFENexus and how is it integrated within your field?
Thank you for your question, Gabriella. I think coming from a background of waste management, we feel that everything that is waste has come from water, energy, food in a way as well, because we have food waste as well, and obviously the ecosystem. So everything is integrated one with each other. You cannot distinguish many a time between one and the other. In our sector, which is the waste management, whether it is waste coming from the pharma industry, where a lot of water is being used, whether it is food waste, where a lot of water, energy, the ecosystem, etc., is being used as well.
Okay. And how does integrating water, energy, food, and ecosystems change the way this approach works?
I think you have to take them maybe sectorial also, because each sector uses one or the other, although they are integrated in many ways. For example, if we take the pharma waste, you have the energy, which produces it, you have the water, which are from the washing lines, and you have the energy, and then obviously when it is waste, how it is going to affect when it is being disposed of. So everything is one after the other. If we take, for example, then the food waste then you need a lot more, perhaps, because it's more direct. If we start from food, the production of the food, starting from the fields, so you have the water, the energy to produce it, the manpower to produce it, the energy because you need machinery, and that uses the fossil fuels as well, many a time, if not battery operated. Hopefully we move on to battery operated as well. Mm-hmm. So you need the energy from the sun as well. And then obviously the depletion of the soil, because then you need more manure, etc., etc. And then all this food, many a time that is lost one way or the other, either because it has not been eaten, so in the household, otherwise the food that has been produced, put on the shelves, and then not being sold, it deteriorates, and then it's not suitable then to sell it again. And that results in waste. And we do see a lot of food waste coming our way. And then after that, it's true that the food waste then is utilized as compost with energy recovery as well. So there is a resource in that way, but preferably it does not end that way as a last resort.
That's actually very interesting. And to follow up that question, which sectors, in your case, waste management and the environment in general, participate, and what roles do they play?
You mean as a waste or?
Exactly, within the approach.
We receive so much waste, and every type of waste that is being received, whether it is plastic, there is the production of the plastic and it ends in waste. It's recycled, but then you would have generated it, used all the energy, brought it here to our island, because we are an island, and obviously then you use the energy. The production of it, the water, the energy, etc., etc. And then to see what you are going to do with it again. So you need more energy to recycle it, and then more energy to send it back for it to be recycled, because it cannot be recycled here locally. The same goes for cardboard, for example, and paper. That also, although it is being collected, it was created as a material, and then it was collected, so the energy with the trucks to collect it, etc., etc. And then again, to recycle it. A lot of water is required to recycle the pulp generated from the cardboard, and then again the energy to reproduce it over and over again. So, and then if it is, for example, thrown away, the effect it has on our environment.
Okay, it's basically a whole cycle then.
A whole cycle,
Okay.
a whole cycle, and many a time it is repeated. If you recycle it, it is repeated. So the longer the product life has, it is better, because you are avoiding the use of energy, use of water, and the effect on the ecosystem.
Exactly. Now I'm going to ask a question regarding stakeholder. So how do you perceive the role of the key stakeholder groups involved within your field, and how are they being engaged along the process? How are they balanced or equitable in their participation?
Okay, if we look at the industry, for example, because we deal mostly with the industrial sector, they are very much aware about not producing waste. So, for example, if we take water, many of them, they recycle their water. So, for example, if you have water from, they have water which is collected, treated. So even when they throw away the water, it is not contaminated, but only a small amount of contamination is left, which is then shipped out. But at least the water is regenerated and reused. So you are not taking fresh water, but you are using what you had, the amount or whatever is being regenerated, you use it for another line, not necessarily for production, but maybe used in other ways.
Okay. And how is it being reused?
Well, mostly they would be used for washing, for example,
okay.
For sanitary purposes, but it will be reused and used as much as possible.
That's the aim, after all.
Yes, that's it.
So based on your experience, what concrete results or milestones have been achieved so far?
I think people have become very much aware of reusing. And obviously, in our sector, first of all, we always talk about reduction, okay? So reduction of the waste before you start anything else. Mm-hmm. So with that kind of mindset, you think that what can I do to avoid the waste? And then from there, you see how you are going to reuse whatever waste you have, whatever it is, whether it is water, whether it is food, whatever it is, energy, how you are going to reuse it, and how you are not going to generate it in the first place, not to generate the waste. And then from there, you always think, what's the best thing to do to avoid the waste? So end of pipe. To avoid it, not to generate waste as much as possible. Waste costs money nowadays, so for them, especially for businesses, waste equals money, because you have to pay for it at the end of the day.
Exactly. And how do you envision the future approach to incorporating this WEFENexus, whether within your specific field or regarding policy making? What is your thought on that?
I think we should look at it as a circular economy. The circular economy is one that is being spoken about now and discussed very frequently. And it starts with a product, and then along the line, as you go around the circle, you see what you avoided, you lengthen the life of the product or whatever you are using, and then you see what you are going to do with it, reusing it, regenerating it, finally recycling it, and then reusing it again. So through the circular economy, that would take an effect on the materials, on our raw materials being used.
Perfect. I have another question for you. This is more on a social aspect. How do you see the integration of the WEFE Nexus from a social point of view?
Well, from a social point of view, then I will wear my hat as a National Council of Women. We meet a lot of women at the National Council of Women. So I think this integrates well because education is the key to all this. The education for them not to waste materials, whatever they are, same as in industry, but on a household level, let's put it that way. From a household level, we see an amount of food that is being wasted. From the supermarkets as well, we see a lot of food being wasted. And apart from that also, it's not only the food that is being wasted, but also the water aspect of wastage. I think many do not realize what it involves to have the food on the table from farm to fork, as we say it, and then from the fork, if it's not eaten, to waste. But then again, also the water aspect. We do not realize what it costs. We do not realize what it implies to have the no water, because thankfully we have not been part of it, like many countries where there is drought, etc., etc. So I think there should be an educational campaign, more education towards the household, to realize what is being used, how we should use it, how we should not produce the waste, because it is a product that you use it, but you don't throw it away, because there is a lot of work behind it, a lot of water being used, a lot of energy being used, etc., etc. And also I'd like to stress on the aspect of rain harvesting. Many households do have wells which are not being utilized. This was one of the topics that we discussed very recently, in fact, about the use of the wells, so that they will fill up again with water. It is water harvesting. We will not pay for the water if we harvest the water.
Exactly.
Same goes for the energy. We are utilizing a number of panels on the roof to generate energy. But then again, we do not say how are we going to minimize the energy we are generating. So what do? I have stressed this point many a time. We are using more energy because now we are not paying for it. So if we are putting 10 panels on the roof, 12 panels on the roof, we use more electricity in the household because we are not paying for it. But the idea behind it is not that. The idea behind it is to generate more electricity using energy efficient methods. But at the same time, what happens is we use it. We don't put it through the grid. So we use less, we generate less.
Mentioning the topic of households, from an educational point of view, can you mention some practical pointers on that regard?
Yes. For example, in a household, you will get not waste at that point in time. It is still edible food. So edible food that we cooked today and tomorrow, maybe it's left over. What do you do with the leftover? You eat it or you throw it away. You regenerate it or you cook it another way. Let's say you have some roast chicken. What do you do with it? You can make a pie with a roast chicken. So these are just simple examples about how to create a new dish from your leftover rather than throwing it away. It's very important that this is done. Also, for example, the best before date. I find that many of the food has a best before date. A best before is not expired. It's a best before. So the food is still good, but it is best before on that date. I think there should be more education about this because a lot of food is being thrown away with a best before date. I think also, however, there should be an indication, although it is best before, when is the expiry date, because some people do not want to take a chance, especially when it is food for children. So they will not take a chance. They will just throw it away just to make sure that it is good and the best it could be for their family. So I think an education campaign in this manner would allow the people would make the people realize that if it is this type of food, a best before, you can keep it for a month. A best before, you can keep it even for a year, some of them. A best before, you can keep it for longer or shorter or whatever. But there is an extended part of time where you can keep this product and use it in the meantime rather than throwing it away.
This was the final question. Thank you so much, Mary, for finding the time to answer these questions and being able to be here. This was a very interesting topic to speak about. Thank you for watching. Follow us for more on the Retouch Nexus YouTube channel.
If you are interested in further episodes or news and outcomes from the Retouch Nexus project, check out our website, retouch-nexus.eu. Thank you for tuning in, and let's stay in retouch.